introduction. I don't think they need an introduction. Passing the mic over to Dr. O and Anna. The floor is yours.
Get the drum rolling, get the drum rolling, get the drum rolling and controlling. This is how we get this falling. Thank you, Fasana. This is your honor. Get Fasana. You are a mama of a many. Okay, I'm done. That's enough is how that goes. So
now she's a mama.
Now she's a mama of many. She's got a whole family to look after. I didn't say mother. I said mama. Like, you know, so many women on this call are sexy mamas, just saying, hot mamas, good looking mamas, and then there are sexy mothers. Okay, so watch the words, man, watch the words. So today's training is gonna be very important and powerful. And I just found something that popped up, which was an inspiration that to help every one of us here with what we call the MHH factor, which is memory harms or memory heals. So we're gonna talk about that. And that starts a lot with vision and projection and how things are. But how many of you would like to see the precursor to how we taught Miracle to be very well coordinated, left hand, left knee, right knee, hand-eye coordination to build into what she's already becoming. The chick is very, very articulated. And anyways, I'm just so glad I'm her daddy. I know Dean is so proud that he is Kai's daddy for all the stuff that he's doing. I can't wait for Miracle to follow in his footsteps. But let me show you guys a little bit of what we did with Miracle, aka Milagro, when she was 4 months old, to help her to learn how to coordinate and go together. And this dives into today's course, and you can see what happens long term. So let's jump into that real quick.
So this is how we taught her coordination.
Entertain yourself. Yay. It's going crazy. They're celebrating 4 months.
Wait, let me turn this one off.
Is this parental torture or not? You guys can comment. It's exciting. Let her go. She's going crazy already. Go ahead. Go crazy again. See, now we can leave her for hours to entertain herself. All right, so look at that. Is this parental torture or what? This is fun. I'm taking her out of the digital age. This child ain't gonna be playing with no phone.
Yeah, we say that. That's what we said, but
just trying to pull them all down together now. Hey, Brandy. Yeah, she's tangled up. Hey, Isa, look, your tia Isa wanted to see you do this, so you get to see it. I know. You can't even. You can't even hold it while she entertained herself. Oh, look, the pink one is gone already. Forget, it's all good. I know. Oh, she's gonna fall off that pillow in a little bit.
all right. I gotta stop that. Right.
Really trying to settle him. You tired? Good. One more time.
Stop that. Then bring it down. Now stop share. Okay. So.
Can't hear you, Obom.
Can't hear you.
Can't hear you, Obom.
It'd probably be good if I take myself off mute. Do you guys like that? It's all good. So, as you saw, we let it go for like 12 minutes. So she wore herself out. 2, we put all the bright colors that forces her to have hand and eye coordination. What does that have anything to do besides just cute entertainment? What does that have to do with anything of the training we're going to talk about today? So we're talking about the memory hurts or memory heal factor. And in one of the trainings earlier, I shared a concept of remembering the tomorrow. Everything we've taken Miracle through Anna and I basically, we had a book where we created every stage of development and training and learning for her to become the young lady she's going to be and the young woman she's going to turn out to be already. And we follow it to the letter. And for some people, they might think like, oh, this is like military boot camp, teaching this kid how to do, and there's no love in there. We do it with love, trust me, and it's entertaining. But if you have a roadmap to anything in life, all you have to do is follow it. And the fear, the anxieties, all those things come out. So today's training is a lot about that, because here's what's going to happen to many of us here in the home stretch. We have 28 days left, and some of us will start to become a little anxious. Some of us will start to become a little afraid. And all we have to remember is 3 simple things: the goals we set, the actions we take, and the consistency to which we do it is going to help us to get where we're at. We can't worry or be anxious about anything else. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. And I'm very, very excited. So literally, I just put this training together. But it's very relevant for all of us. So let's talk about, and we're going to dive more into this. Let's talk about the MHH factor, which I say is memory harms or memory heals. So I want to talk to you about this concept about memory harms or memory heals. And then we're going to break it down. And we're also going to talk about how this actually pertains to things. Now, this, listen, is very powerful. Today, we're going to talk a lot about it for business, but I'm going to share some life examples of how this actually works. So let's talk about the memory heal part first. Because the opposite of anything good is bad. The opposite of any, like rich is poor. It's right. So there's always that balance. And most of us in life, we always want the things that are good, but we never want to embrace the things that are bad. And the truth is, we have to love the bad just as much as we love the good. You have to love good just as much as you love evil. You have to respect, for those who are Christian, depending on your faith, you have to respect God enough and respect Lucifer the same. You have to acknowledge that he's there. When it comes to religion, the greatest magician in the world is the magician who performs tricks and pretend he's not there. Because most people believe that. And if you believe the devil isn't real, good luck, because he is. Just as real as all the good things we're hoping for, it's just as real as all the bad things. So the MHH factor on memory heals. Anna and I, 14 years ago, set this memory, which most of us will call a goal. We set a memory to remember why we were doing everything we do. And it was because her one goal in life, since she was 15 years old, my wife didn't want to be rich. She didn't want to do this. She wanted to be a mother who can stay home and take care of her kids. But she understood that to be that person, she will need to eventually work her butt off to earn enough income to be able to stay home and live the life she wanted to. So when we met first in network marketing, one of the first conversations we had is she was very focused on residual income, because she wasn't about the upfront thing. She was willing to work as long and hard as she had to, so she never had to work again. So instead of just telling her story, part of the MHH factor and how that works, I'm just going to have the missus with lots of kisses tell you what that is for her, the memory heals part and what she had planned out, and also how we have shifted some of those goals. Because initially, we both had agreed very strongly on 7 kids. And even though Miracle is like the ideal child, we have revisited that goal. So for those of you who've read my book, Today's the Day, chapter 1 talks about and says, it's okay to change your mind. So with that, Mrs. Bowen, Ballin', you're cool.
Oh, hi guys. Okay, so what am I talking about? What am I saying?
your original goal and how
okay.
we changed that throughout the time.
Okay, so for me, growing up, I knew by the time I was in kindergarten that I didn't want to work. I'm just being honest. I didn't want to work because at that time in my life, my parents owned a small business, a printing business, and I saw them work so hard to barely get by. That's just how it was. So the story for me was I love that my parents were together all the time, and I love that they spent time with us because it didn't matter. I'm one of those kids that I'm very grateful to my parents that every play, every game, any function that I was participating in, they were there. And it wasn't just mom or it wasn't just dad. It was both of them. Yes, baby. 1 second, okay? So for me, that's what I wanted for my children because I love the family aspect of how it made me feel. And I also know how it made kids that didn't have their parents present. So one of the things my father actually taught me was he was so nice and so graceful whenever he went to our school because he would let other people, children, feel loved. And that was something that Obom really represents, to be completely honest. He represents that. So that was why, for me, all I wanted to do was I understood the fact that I needed to work sometime to get some kind of money. I just didn't know how. I was like 5 years old, guys. Then as I grew up, I started to see that people get into like this rut and a cycle of, okay, they get up, they go to school, they go to work, they go to sleep, they get up, they go to work, they go to school, and that kind of a rut. So what I decided was, okay, there has to be a different way. After I graduated from college, there has to be a different way to do this. Because when I went to college, I had a different perspective. Oh, the way my parents live isn't the only way that people live. I was very sheltered as a child. I lived under a rock for my whole life. I didn't leave a circumference of about 20 miles my whole life. That's all I knew. I didn't know anything else. When I met Obom, that was after I graduated from college, I realized that where I lived was way bigger than what I thought. Because what I thought was far away was 20 minutes away. When I met Obom, I lived close to the Mexico border out in California, and he lived in the middle of what I would consider the state, and that's not even halfway there. I was just like, that is so crazy. So when I went to visit him for the first time, it took me 45 minutes to get there. That was so far for me. I didn't even know we had other freeways because all I knew was the two that I used. So all of this to say, when I graduated from college, I met Obom. I realized there's a different way to think. There's a different way of creating income that doesn't require me to go to work every day for 50 years. That's when I got introduced to the industry of network marketing. When I decided that I was going to do network marketing for the first time, I was 19 years old. And the reason why I joined the company was because it said they had residual income. That's the reason why I joined. Everybody in my organization and in my support team, they were trying to sell me on the right now money. I told them, I don't care about the right now money because I already have 2 jobs. I work from 9 to 5 and 11 to 7. I have money for right now. I need money for when I get old and I can't work. That's when I need money. So when I met Obom, he was in a phase in his life where he didn't have right now money. So he needed the right now money, which was interesting because I had right now money and I knew how to save. I didn't spend any money. I was taught not to spend our money, only for what we needed. So I never spent money at all. only groceries and only necessities. That's it. Never splurge on anything, only what you need. So I had money. When Obom met me and he needed a little bit of money, he didn't want to ask because pride always gets in the way, guys. Pride gets in the way in a lot of different things. So when he didn't ask, but I couldn't figure it out because he wasn't open to the situation. So he would show up, he would do everything he needed to do when it came to being present, but there was hurt behind those eyes. There was hurt. So I started to figure out what was going on. So we started to talk a little bit more. We started to become friends and we started to get more comfortable. That's when we figured out our situation was kind of unique.
To say the least.
To say the least, right? So what I mean by that is I had a job and I had right now money, and Obom had no money and had an opportunity. So we both actually joined the same company different times, but for me, I decided I wanted to be part of the opportunity for the later money. He joined the opportunity for the right now money. So when all that happened, then we started to get to go know each other. Things worked out perfectly for us because at the end of the day, we had money to survive, but we also had a plan for later because I worked at a convalescent home and I got to see what the latter part of people's life can be like. And I didn't want that for us.
More so what my life could be like for my injuries. It was nuts.
Yeah, so I didn't want that for us. It cost, if you wanted a private room in our facility, it cost you $455 back like almost 9 years ago.
A day.
If you wanted a semi-private, it was about $300. But that's you having 24-hour care, 3 meals and snacks. Pretty much that's what you got. So when you look at the calculations, because I was in the admissions part of that whole thing, it's ridiculous how much money some people would spend. And we had, in our facility, we had one lady who had a private room. And we called her, this lady had old money, you know, old money when money was valuable more than what it is now. And she ran out of money in the facility. She ran out. So now she had to undo her comfortableness and get into a semi-private room. And I'm sure by the time that we left, or after I left, she probably ran out of some more money and had to go into a room with 3 or 4 people. That's what I didn't want. Honestly, I still to this day, because of Obom's injuries and all the stuff that we actually deal with on a daily basis, I think about these things. It's like people say, you don't think about death. I think about death all the time because it's a reality for all of us. Death is going to come. We all exit this earth at one point or another. Some of us live a long life, and some of us, our life is cut short. It's okay to think about it. And I think about that all the time. So when we decided we wanted to have children, that goal started 12 years ago. That was a 12-year goal before we actually accomplished it because we had hiccups along the way that I didn't know we had.
Hiccups?
We had hiccups. So I did not know Obom had a vasectomy. It's kind of important to reverse that in order to have children. I'm just saying, right? So we had discussed.
Robert said that's a hick down.
We had discussed in having, my whole entire life, I've always wanted 7 children. I've always wanted a big family. To me, 7, I love 7. That's my favorite number. It happens to be Obom's favorite number. It was just, that was the number I wanted. Obom wanted 12. But then reality hits. We have 1. Our house is a disaster. There is no order. There is a wrench here and a wrench there every day. So we had to reevaluate our
Yeah.
decision.
And speaking of which, the other day I was just telling her, I was like, if no one ever believes that our child is really miraculous and she performed miracles, come to our house. 8 years, the carpet in our house was brown. In 7 months being home, it's rainbow. She performed the miracle. The carpet is rainbow.
So,
The wall was cream. The wall is rainbow. 6 months. This child has been performing miracles all around this house. Everything is colored. So,
but that, you know, but those are the things that we had to really start looking at it. And then my idea, we all have an idea when we're going to have children. I don't know if, at least me as a woman, I had the idea I wanted to have a boy first because I didn't have an older brother, and I always wanted an older brother. I had a younger brother. I want an older brother. So I decided that, I want to have a boy. I didn't have a boy. Things change in our lives, and it's okay. So
we adopted a son.
we did.
So she had a boy as her firstborn. That's what she said. See, it's all on how you put things into context first. She says, I wanted my first child to be a boy. Great. So we adopted a boy. He's our oldest child. And I said, you didn't say you wanted to give birth to your oldest child. You said you wanted your oldest child to be a boy. So we adopted our son, who's now 29. He's the oldest. And miracle the other day, we were just looking at her and talking. And Anna said, no, I asked her first. I said, would you give her up for a boy, change things? And she goes, you know what, to be honest with you, I can't see life without her. Right. So it's okay to change your mind, and all the things that come up within that. That's what the MHH factor is all about. So we spend basically 20 minutes going into the context before we go into the content to kind of show you how a lot of these things have contrasted in our lives and how it's going to play in yours, and even more so, how it's going to play within the next 28 days of your business. So let's dive into it. And what was so that was life. In recent term, what's the MHH factor? As you know, the memory will heal for things that we recently set. And all of you pretty much know this one already. The recent goal, the MHH factor, was for us, pie and ice cream and get drunk, basically, to hit double diamond. That was the goal. That was the memory. We had the pictures and everything else up around the house, right? So that was the focus. This is why the affirmations are key and important. But here's what we do know. Mankind, man is less worried by real problems than the imagined anxieties. This is the first thing we really have to know, that for us, we are more concerned about things that aren't real. We create them in our minds, and then we start to live that life we create, because we actually perform or live a life from what we believe. But it's okay to change your mind. It's okay to change your beliefs. So when we understand that all of us, including me, we're less worried by the real problems themselves and more so worried about the ones we imagine, which are the anxieties. Anxiety is the second cousin of fear. It really is. The first cousin is worry. Worry and anxiety, those two cousins, they bad. You put them together with fear, it is crazy. So once we understand that, then we know this, that man is not even worried by the real problems so much as by his imagined anxieties about the real problems.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And the truth is this, when you understand that we create this problem in our mind, and you, me, her, we are so smart that our brain will convince us of whatever problem we create, that it's real. Half the things aren't necessarily true or factual, but you know what affirmations are? This might get some of you guys a little off. Everything starts as a lie until you make it true. I was sharing, so today's Wednesday. Wednesdays are my days that I do my accountability with my accountability coach, Mr. Robert Raymond Riepel. Maybe some of you guys know that cool dude, AKA Groot, right? And Groot is so cool. But today we were talking and keeping, being accountable. See, when I look at Robert and then whatever I was going to say went out of my mind because I just saw him going, so I had a brain fart. Robert, so what was I going to say? Let me go back to the last slide. I lost my thought. So the real problems that we basically imagine, we're so intelligent that our minds will create whatever it is we believe, truth or not. So everything starts as a lie. And what I was telling Robert was like, literally, we're halfway there between our workout program from the 90 days that Annie and I did. My body is looking so much better. It isn't in so much pain as it was before. I'm like, man, look, I love the fact that my stomach is now flatter, that my chest is over my stomach. I love that. So is Anna's, right? So my stomach was bigger than my chest. Now my chest is bigger than my stomach. But it's been a 5-month process when we started getting fluffy, and just like literally, I was in the shower yesterday and I was talking to Anna and I said, like, this is where most people quit, because I'm looking at it 5 months and my mind starts playing these tricks on me. Like, I got to do this all over again. Like, I got to go another 5 months. Well, here's the deal. Yes. Another 5 months just to kind of get them, but what we forget sometimes is the journey, because I'm not trying to get in shape for a month. I'm trying to get in shape to live a new lifestyle. And we forget that. So we create these problems like, oh, I even shared with Robert this morning. It's like, when we look, I got to show you guys this, because your mind messes with you. So let me back up here for a second. When we had, and I'm not even going to talk about the drink, but when we had the ice cream and the pecan pie and it tasted so good, guess what happened? All that stuff, because my system has been so clean, it ran out of my system. It was like, this is not normal. It's got to go. So listen, the first thought that came was like, oh, I can have some more and it'll keep going. No, because it was foreign. Now my system will start to love, Robert said TMI. Will love it. But here's where this happens. It's like if you're building your business and you do something that you shouldn't have done, that was wrong, we say, oh, I made a mistake. And then we get the anxiety about it and we focus more on the mistake instead of, hey, it's not a mistake if you don't keep thinking about the mistake. You acknowledge you made the mistake and then you plan to do what is right the next time. You plan or you then correct for the mistake. So my mind immediately said, oh, I can eat some more pie and ice cream tomorrow. No. So now we have the pie and we're thinking like, okay, well, we can probably maybe take another slice in a week or whatever, or just throw the thing away, right? Regardless, because we had the fill, we celebrated. That was a plan, what someone would say, in other words, planned failure. But your system, if you're so healthy, it needs a little bit of unhealthy to recognize that, to kind of reset and push it again. I know this, but then again, my taste buds are like, oh, but it tasted so good and I want it. It's like if you're building your business and you get the anxiety and then you're comfortable doing something, then you want to be into that comfort zone. Well, when we imagine the problem, your brain, you're so smart, you make it real, and your brain wants to continue to stay comfortable because we were designed for comfort. So you got to ask yourself, is the problem real, or is it just the imagined anxiety? About what? For example, imagine anxiety about the first thing that will come to mind is, oh my gosh, we got 28 days left. I'm not going to hit my goal. And then your brain starts to go down this spiral of, I'm not going to hit my goal. What if this? I can't recruit, or I've been having a hard time recruiting. You're going to stay on that part. And the deal is this. Whatever you focus on, if you've heard the terminology before, whatever you focus on expands, is very true. So if you're focused on not succeeding, which let's say not succeeding is down that street, if you're focused on that street, you can't go down the street because you don't know what's coming in this street. So then the new memory starts to harm you because all you're doing is you're thinking and repeating the pattern that is not good for you when we should be thinking and repeating about what's good for us. Okay, so what's my goal? How many people do I need to focus on recruiting? Mm-hmm. And I'm so grateful for Robert because whenever I need to get slapped back into place, because, you know, it happens to me too. Very well, he comes on. And as a matter of fact, let me do this. Robert, can you talk maybe about one or two experiences where even I was having my own little drama and you had to correct me for my mistakes?
Well, you know, Obom, here's the biggest thing I want people to understand is other than the fact that we are amazingly aerodynamic,
yes,
we are different than other people. And a lot of the stuff that you're talking about, we go through it. And the reason we're able to help people is because we haven't let it hold us back down. We choose to get back up. And people go, like I just got a video this morning, a person going, oh my goodness, thank you for your guidance. You know, I know you're younger than me, but you seem to be so much wiser. And in my mind going, no, I've just made more freaking mistakes. Right? And it's that thing of being willing to fail forward and fail fast, because then you get more feedback. And so, you know, that tributary effect you were just talking about, you can be having the greatest day, and this is how the mind works. It's like you're having the greatest day, and it's like, oh my goodness, I'm looking forward to hitting that next rank. And then all of a sudden, one little thought, you're having this great day, and all of a sudden, one little thought comes in and goes, oh yeah, but that person just said no yesterday. What if the next person says no? And then all of a sudden, that leads to the thought of, and if they say no, then this person's going to say no, and that means I'm going to have to get this much more. Or what if they come in at this? 30 seconds ago, you were having a great freaking day. And now all of a sudden, you're on a spiral down. And this is where the accountability. So there's been times, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. O and I, and one of the reasons we hold accountability is because we're our own worst enemies. And having that outside perspective come in and say, are you done? You know, if not, oh, and that was with love.
Lots of love.
Lots of love. And this is where like having amazing relationships, not just like the person you're married to or in a relationship with, but having amazing friendship relationships, willing to have those heartfelt conversations of like, I get it. Now, are you done with it? Am I done with what? Are you done with the pity party? Let's move forward. What's one step? Well, that's kind of cold. Okay, then you don't need me as your accountability partner because you got it all figured out. How's that working out for you right now? Right? And it's having the willingness to give, but also be open to receive support. It is a two-way street. And I again, you know, Dr. O, anytime you ask me a question, I don't know if I'm actually answering the question or not. But I just go with the flow of where it's going.
You always hit it on the head. Yeah. So it doesn't matter. Even if you just use the phrase, I am Groot, I will know what you say. I will get it. We all get it. If you've ever seen the interview with Groot, he says, I am Groot every single time, but it has a different meaning every single time. So thank you so much, Robert, because it's important for I believe, everyone to know too, like I am not impervious to it, but I use a system the entire time. Miracle is saying, hi, Uncle Dean. Right? She sees Uncle Dean. So, oh, I got here with you. She wants to let you know she's here with you, Uncle Dean, just so you know. So,
okay. Can I say something?
Yes, you can.
So with that, with what Robert was just saying, it's accepting what you have done, taking ownership, and moving forward. That's the key. Honestly, guys, that is the key to moving forward. Failing forward means taking that responsibility. No matter what has happened in your past, it's about you moving forward if you want to. That's the key, because some of us, I know for me, for a fact, for a long time, I didn't want to take responsibility because that meant I was wrong. And that's pride. That's your ego standing in the way of saying, no, like, I'm not wrong. But when you release that, let it flow the way it's supposed to go, things happen for you the way it's supposed to happen. So if anything from when you got started with Acera to now, anything that you believe was wrong, you did a mistake, it's okay. Accept it, take responsibility, and now make a new goal and move forward. That's like the nicest way I can say fail forward, because fail forward means different things to different people. But what my perspective to it, that's what my perspective is, because I, for myself, had a lot of ego when I was way younger. Mommy! Like 10 years ago younger, not way younger, just 10 years ago, where I didn't want to be wrong. I just didn't want to. So I didn't want to take responsibility for whatever I had done to create the situation I was in. So that's what we mean. So give yourself permission to say it's okay to be wrong, and it's okay to keep going forward, making a new goal. It's like Obom and I were just saying in the beginning, it's okay to change your mind, because sometimes we get so caught up in a picture, as Obom was saying earlier, that we don't want to switch it, but sometimes it needs a switch in. Okay, that's it.
Yeah. Thank you, honey.
You're welcome.
So Robert and I have been private messaging each other. I'm almost peeing myself over here at what he's saying.
What?
And I was going to type something in the comment for everyone, and I sent it to him. But I just love when we have these private conversations. But, you know, what I wanted is, I just shared it with everyone else. One of the things I've been focused on, part of my philosophy is, you know, fail fast, fail often, fail forward. Because failure is a part of success. And the more mistakes you make, the more lessons you learn, if you pay attention. If you're not willing to pay attention and take action, then failure becomes permanent, as in results. But failure is a permanent part of success. You have to keep failing to learn to go, right? In other words, you got to show up to go up and grow up. So when we look at how basically we take these imagined anxieties and create them real, here's what I want you to be able to understand. The essence of it all is this: you cannot recycle wasted time. You can't recycle wasted time. So if you ever find yourself over the course of at least like the next 28 days, you're wasting time about something, the first thing is going to happen, you're going to get anxiety, you're going to feel bad. Let that go. Don't feel bad if you've wasted time. Let it go. Plan what you're going to do the next time, which is like chapter 7 of my book, the next time. What are you going to do the next time you have that time instead of waste it? Like for us, most people would say, Obama and Anna waste a lot of time in the evenings. We do not, right? Part of my daily schedule, my quadrant, is family time, quality time. And in that time, because my brain is so intense for 7 to 8 hours a day focused on business, I need to unwind. So we unwind and watch some shows at a time so that my brain can have a few hours of learning or unlearning. So it's not focused on business anymore. So that when I sleep, I can reset and come back fresh. And what we typically do is start the day with a workout. So now the right amount of endorphins is in our body, in our system, and then we're able to jump on whatever it is we need to do. So always focus on the next time. Replace the picture in your mind of the failure with what you want to do, so the anxiety lowers, you feel better, and you focus on what it is that you want. Whatever that goal is. So as we continue to move, then it's like, okay, great. You're now remembering the tomorrow, because what you do today is what you planned yesterday. And if your todays weren't planned yesterday, that's what you need to correct. Plan tomorrow before tomorrow begins, and then execute the plan tomorrow that you planned today. I'm going to say that again. Plan tomorrow before tomorrow begins, and then execute the plan tomorrow that you planned today. That's how we live our life. So it's really important. Yes, Robert, will do. Thank you so much. it's really important for us to understand this. You cannot recycle wasted time. But here's the thing. If you want some time off to do stuff, plan that. You might call it plan that wasted time. Then if it's planned, it's not wasted. So there's also this philosophy that people says like, oh, I don't watch TV, I don't do this and all this other stuff. It's not wasted if you plan it. One of the exercise and practices I do, Robert too, is we plan the time to just do mindless nothing so that you can reset. And I saw Groot's finger, now it's hand, so that means he thinks I was gonna skip him. No, but I got you, bro. Go right ahead.
I am Groot.
I'm Groot.
Now, look, and I'm hoping, and the reason I want to kind of chime in is I'm hoping people are getting this, because one of the things mind does to hold us back is it finds the little things to beat us up on. And that's where that tributary effect comes in. Oh my God, I just wasted an hour watching a TV show. I know better than that. I shouldn't have done that. Why the heck did I let myself do that? And now you've taken yourself out for hours, days, weeks because of one little thing that you beat yourself up over. And so with what Obom is saying, I want everybody to get this, is there's times to make sure you honor yourself. I love my movies. I love my TV. So like him, like when I do my workouts, that's where I watch shows, because otherwise I'm squirreling. You know, I'm on the elliptical and all of a sudden, 3 minutes. 3 minutes, 10 seconds, come on, right? But now I use watching my shows as a way to distract my mind so I get a good workout in. And so it's learning, and it's not thinking you have to figure it out on your own, ladies and gentlemen. This is where you utilize this family. I was just having a conversation with someone earlier today saying, you know, again, this community, the knowledge, the professionalism, the expertise, if there's something you don't know, there's someone in this group that probably does, or can direct you to someone who's an expert at it. 6 degrees of separation. You're only 6 people away from anything you ever truly want. And this community has put us closer. It's probably eliminated 4 of the 6. It's like 3 degrees, 2 degrees of separation. So, but if you're not taking care of you, if you're not giving yourself the space to really fully honor who you are, I've been through all the burnouts. Month and a half in bed, can't move because I knocked my back out and had to wait for surgeries. And it's, you know, Anna, you were talking about, you know, the homes and the places you've worked. You know, you lose ego very quickly when someone has to help you even go to the washroom. And so you've got to just, if you don't take care of yourself, the universe is going to take care of things. Yep. So I just wanted to kind of chime in there, Obama, and let people, you know, I'm hoping they're getting this, because, you know, all the fun I have and all the joking I love to do, I'm also listening because of how important it is.
I am Groot.
And I am Groot.
Yeah.
So that just reminded me of something.
I love that magic. She appears in one camera to another, like, ooh, ooh.
So one of the things, you know, Robert was just saying, he has fun, but he listens. One of my favorite parts of working at that convalescent home was the experience I got to learn from the people that I talked to there. They had so much knowledge that people overlooked them because they were older or they weren't as communicative as they wanted them to be. It was so interesting that you can learn so much by just sitting there and listening to somebody and being patient enough to let them get their words out.
Yeah. And that's where we came up with the phraseology of you cannot buy wisdom. You can't. And Anna and I, for 4 years, if we had 100 people we communicated with, 90 of them were over the age of 65. I realized, like, we gathered so much information when we started focusing on building wealth. A lot of these folks were very wealthy. It was crazy. We took lessons from them. When we traveled around the world, 18 months we cruised. Every week, every 2 weeks, we were on a different cruise somewhere around the world. And 85% of the cruise line, the people that are on there are 65 and older. So we spent weeks after weeks for a year and a half learning from the old folks, it was like, holy smokes, it was a year and a half of personal development, life lessons on everything. Not to add that at the time we were building an anti-aging business, and there's a lot of old people on the cruises, so that was the ideal market for us. So it was pretty good. So anyways, moving on, we capitalized on that market. So moving on, to understand that you can't recycle wasted time, here's another one. Anxiety is really repeatedly experiencing failure in advance. If you're anxious about something and you're worried about this and you're worried about that, the more you're worried about something, you are putting yourself into the future in a negative light. And the thing with your brain is, your brain, write this down. Oh my gosh, it's so powerful. Your brain does not know the difference between real or realized. So it doesn't know the difference between real or fake. As long as you put energy into it, it creates it. So if you have anxiety about something, that means that you are basically experiencing failure in advance. Now you can have positive anxiety. And that's basically what Anna and I was focused on. We were focused on the pie and ice cream. So we were realizing success in advance. This is why it's important to hold your goals in front of you, because here's another tip. The mind thinks in pictures, so give it the pictures it needs to be able to see whatever that success looks like for you.
And that's why a lot of people do dream boards.
Yep. That's why it's very important.
Why most people, if you've heard of anything, oh, do your goals in pictures, do a dream board. That's why.
Yep. So with that being said, I want you to understand this very powerful concept. What worry is like. Worry is like a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but it never gets you anywhere.
Did you write that?
I sure did.
Smart.
You married a genius, didn't you realize that?
No, but these kind of things just.
Oh, well, it looks
Remind me.
fancy. For ladies and gentlemen, just another inside reminder of some of the talent we have here. These amazing slides, I didn't do them. It was the girl on fire, Miss Afia Al-Faiz. Where you at? Show your face, girl. It was this beautiful lady who helped put them all together for me. So her and I, look, say something. Say something, girl. Say something. Say hi to the family.
Hey, hey, hey.
She's so awesome.
I know. So it was Afia. So back and forth, because Afia is one of my CEOs. We talk pretty much almost every day. And when I have these thoughts and ideas and I give them to her, she means them and put them in the boom, 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 boom. So she's all daily. She's getting my new thoughts, new ideas, things that happen. And the last presentation I did, she took all those thoughts and created an entire presentation. So when she means these and send them back to me, I can look all fancy, but listen, I'm not that smart. I do smart things and I connect with smart people. But this is what worry is like. If we're worried in a negative direction, it's just being in the same place. You have motion, but you don't have traction. So worry is like being in a rocking chair because it gives you something to do, but you're never getting anywhere. Right? One of the most important thing is this, to understand it. This is why I did the brainwashing the other day. This is why brainwashing ourselves, like taking massive actions and repeating affirmations, are important, because it is important for us to actually not worry, but focus on what we want. And the affirmation process, it's not the end result. The affirmation process, though, is a means to the end result, because it gives you the direction. The affirmation becomes that voice in the GPS. When you are driving, your affirmation is the GPS. If you're driving down a road and you're supposed to go to your end destination, every time you make a wrong turn, what does the voice modulator in the GPS say? Turn right, turn left. When possible, make a legal U-turn, legal U-turn. For some of us who just breaks the rules and turn around like Obom, look, Anna's laughing already. Because I'm like, legal U-turn, that's like 3 miles ahead. No, I'm gonna turn around right now because I passed the exit, drive off the road. And for all the times that I've done that, I have not been caught by the cops. So it's still legal to me. But your GPS is your affirmations. This is why we say them. This is why it's important to have the vision board, right, in front of us so that we stay in a positive focus. We stay brainwashing ourselves to the direction we want to go. So again, is it a real problem or imagine anxiety for the things that's happening? Real problem. You like that? You got the lesson? I hope some of you guys got that too.
That's good.
If you got the lesson in the comments, just type the lesson. If you didn't get it, rewatch the recording. You may get it. It's very, very, very powerful lesson there for a second. Okay, so
That was good.
I know. Thank you so much. I try. So I want to talk about this for a second. I want to talk about this, aka pretty much the bell curve, using a hockey analogy. But for us to understand before we close up and why it's important to have this presentation today is that most of you may not know. So you can copy, screenshot, take a picture of this one because it's important to know from whence we came to where we're going. There's 4 phases and stages of every business when it's getting started. The same thing with relationships, right? Mm-hmm. Anna and I right now are in the surging growth of our relationship. Well, let's work backwards. What is the surging growth of our relationship? Right now, we're only focused on growing miracle or making more babies. That's the surging growth, right? We've created an income and all that stuff. So let's go back to the beginning because everything starts. Remember, in no one likes a prequel to a movie. They like a sequel. But sometimes to really understand the movie, you got to go back into the prequel, aka called the hero's journey.
Ooh, I like that.
You like that? I'm so sexy and fly like that. I'm so sexy. I'm so fly. That is why you married me. Okay. Anyway, so the phase that we're heading into right now is the 4th phase, which is mass market engagement. Mass market engagement means that now we've got our products down. The website's going to be up here soon in 28 days. The back office and systems, it's going to be ongoing systems development, leadership development, massive action, which we're all taking, and the duplication because our system is working. Then that takes us into the RTMR, which is to recruit, train, motivate, and retrain. That's the phase we're heading into, to recruit, train, motivate, and retrain. That's it. It's a whole drum line. Recruit, train, motivate, retrain. Recruit, train, motivate, retrain. That's the phase we're heading into. But where we are currently is right here at the tipping point, right? Which is the growth or inflection point. We're at the tipping point for market engagement, or what's best known as market penetration. What we just kind of came out of was the blade period, which is where we did we had the model and system tests, aka the pre-soft launch or initial sales, where we all were testing like, you know what, this thing, I guess it works. Yes, it works. But every business goes through that to get to its tipping point. Yeah, I was gonna say go group. See, Robert's got me all grutified. So, but in the beginning, the first phase was the tinkering phase, where it's like this was, a little before March, but let's just call this March 1st with all of us. This is where the business concept, the design, and the model, and the creation, all of that happened for the last 2 years. And then we got past the tinkering phase of putting the concept together. This phase here, I'm going to show you here again, this phase, the second phase, which is the blade period, when it's like boots on the ground in traditional business, that phase is called, proof of concept. So once we proved the concept, we know it works. You've seen how it works. We've all got the beginning version or the first version, Acera 2.0. Now we're stepping into Acera 3.0, which is the tipping point. So with all of this, all the good things that's coming and it's going to happen, what we have to focus on, remember, is how the MHH factor ties into all of this. How will our memory, how do we focus to have our memory to heal us? And that is to remember your tomorrow. That is to remember October 1st. Well, what is October 1st? Where do you want to be when the switch happens, when the button hits, when everything is turned on, and you sit back and say, gee, I'm glad I gave all I had. What if? Never stepped into the arena. But the man or woman who prepared and gave their all, stepped into the arena and left it all on the floor. When I met Anna and I told her she was going to be my wife, she thought I was cuckoo crazy. 7 years later, she's verifiably crazy because she married me. But what I did over the course of that 7 years is I stayed focused on the healing memory of what I wanted, the MHH factor. I did whatever it took. And before we close this training today, I'm going to say something that some people are going to go like, are you crazy? Because most of us have heard it, especially if you've been in network marketing before. It says you can't watch TV, you can't do all this other stuff. BS. The only way to grow is from a rested place, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. You need to rest your body. You need to rest your mind. You need to rest your spirit. At the end of your day, plan this work day to do your business, but plan a celebration every day. Whatever makes you happy. If it's watching a show, watch the damn show. Because if you come back tomorrow excited because you enjoyed yourself at night, you will be better in front of the person you're prospecting instead of depriving yourself from the things that make you happy every single day. I hated that nonsense. Oh, don't do that. No, now for me personally, I don't watch the news because I'm highly emotional. I'm an intuitive soul. And that emotion influences me. So I don't put myself into the negative stuff. But I'm on Facebook because everybody puts out what's, the real stuff on Facebook. Like Robert said, yes, CNN, constant negative news. Don't be negative, Nancy. Don't be negative, Nelly. But if the end of the day, family, I want you to understand what heals your memory to be a better person is you plan in your day. And yes, plan to take some time off because I don't care who you are. It's completely insane. And here's another one, stupid to be on 24/7. I used to believe the opposite, but I learned that lesson until I was passing out, broken down, and was broke all the time. And I said, well, something's got to give. And then I realized whenever I took a mental break, I was recharged. The next day I was good to go. So remember to take the breaks, work, take the breaks, and work. And with that, the MHH factor will play a very important role in your life. Remember the tomorrow, not the yesterday. Pull from yesterday what didn't work. Plan tomorrow what you will do to correct for the mistakes. And if you live life that way, the results will show up. Family, that's all we wanted to share with you today. I hope it's been helpful and healing for you. God bless. If many of you have questions, show up on the Q&A at 3, and we will answer all those questions for you.
That's a good one.
I know. But with that being said, we love you. 3 o'clock is the Q&A. And as we close out, Miss Fasana Patel, the host with the most, is there anything you want to share? Because I know for business, we got to jump on a call here in a second. So anything you want to share before we go?
No, that was so awesome. Thank you both so much for sharing your stories, your wisdom, and just your greatness with us. So everyone, family, like Dr. O said, 3 o'clock is our Q&A call. And then 6 p.m., we have an English presentation featuring me and the amazing Benny Cochran. So we will see you all then. Bye for now, family.
Bye all.